Deputy General Manager of Columbus, Lithuania, and today I will be the moderator of this webinar. So today's webinar is about Porini solution for apparel and textile companies. Today's webinar will be in English as we have participants all over the Baltic countries and we have Porini representatives. The question why we do this webinar, I would say 3 arguments. One, we get clear signals from the market that current ERP systems are not covering all the aspects related to textile and apparel functionality. Their specific solution are of interest. Then the second one, we have a few implementation going on in the market at the moment. Thus, it also gives a valuable input on the need of some functionalities. And the third one, I would say, on the other hand, we have a Porini who might share the best practices from all over the world, and thus they are the right persons to give some observation and insights. Organizational part of the webinar, questions. Questions during webinar you can type directly here. Oh, sorry, it's right here. I will try to post them for the presenters to answer them directly online, or we will try to answer those questions later on. Material, webinar material and recording will be distributed to all the participants after this webinar. So having said that, I'm glad to give the floor for Fernando and Nello. Hello guys, and please do your best. I'm switching my camera off.
Hello to everyone. Thanks for joining us today and spend some time to talk about some of the challenges of the apparel and textile market. My name is Fernando Pereira and I'm the General Manager of Porini International, the company of the group that is responsible for the distribution of our solution around the world. Today's agenda is explaining a little bit who we are. I will talk about Porini very quickly. After that, I will present you the market challenges that we faced in the last years, and then we will present our solution in a live demo that Nello will help me and do the presentation. After that, I will come back to talk about some main benefits of using our solution and some real names, some references that are using already or in process of implementation about our solution. So let's move and talk a little bit about our company. As the name said, Porini, I think you understood, is an Italian company. And we exist since 1968. We have almost in September 48 years dedicated to the same business, that is provide consultancy and software solutions for the apparel and textile market. We started as a consultants company. In the 80s we developed our own ERP solution based on AS400. And also some complementary solutions for the apparel and textile market, like PLM, planning tools and monitoring. Due to the market changes and the request of the market in the last years, we start to work with Microsoft since 2005. But about this I will explain better later on why. Today, I want to bring to you some messages related to our company, and mainly that our headquarters and development center is based in Italy. We developed solutions based on Microsoft platform for fashion, retail and textile industry. We have more than 20,000 users around the world working with our solutions. We invest between 15 and 20% of our turnover in R&D, and we work always with local certified partners. In this case, our partner is Columbus, Lithuania. That said, let's now talk a little bit, as promised, about the market challenges. I could start, or I can start, with some challenges that we listen every day in our companies, and they are very, very clear. Of course, reduce the time to market, of course, increase efficiency, improve customer service, reduce inventory, reduce costs, and always, and very, very important, be flexible to the market changes that happen. I want to say, let's say, I will not say every day, but every week we have new challenges on that. But instead of going directly to these common statements, I will start from a more basic perspective. We normally say that the first challenge for us is to clearly identify what the company do. It is a weaving company, it is a knitting company, it's an apparel manufacturer, it is a technical textile or home textile. Is the company vertical, all the production inside, or do they also subcontract some of the areas? Do the company have their own brand, or they work for other parties? Do the company work, or the business model is make to order or make to stock, or both of them, depending on the product? So after we clearly identify and identify the sector and the way the company works, we need also to understand about the internal processes. I like to use this, I use it for, I think, the last 20 years. It's a slide where we can present and all the sectors and processes that we have and products inside a normal apparel and textile company. And I think looking at it, you can immediately understand why our sector is identified as a very, very complex, and mainly is because of the great variety of sub-processes and lots of variants that we have inside each one. In this slide we can see immediately different process from fiber to garment, going through yarns, going through knitted fabrics, warps, woven fabrics, and going till the finished goods. Could be footwear, accessories, or made-ups. We can work within this process with cotton or wool or synthetic fibers, and that could change all the process we have. Inside each process, we have different products with different variants. Some of them change by colors, some change by printing design, some by variant, some by size. So in each subsector, I have different products managed in a completely different way, and with very, very specific technical data that again changes across the processes. Sometimes in my company I have from design to retail. Sometimes the biggest challenge is that I have 3 or 4 completely different companies inside one legal entity, or even different legal entities under the same group, but with global planning. From an IT point of view, it is not easy to manage all the differences within the sectors, but most difficult is having an integrated standard solution that covers all your needs. Let's move and talk about some additional challenges that we face on every project. One of the biggest ones, and I already talked about, is manage different types of products. You need to have different code characteristics. You need to have different dimensions like color, like design, size, drops. You need different, you manage the bill of material differently if we talk about a fabric or a finished good, a garment. We need to manage in an easy way the raw template and the technical and user-defined data that we have, again, among all types of products. Another big challenge is manage the inventory and control the inventory, identify all the products. We know that we have products that we manage by lot or dying lot, but we have products that we manage also by quality, first, second, and the product code don't change. It's only a dimension inside the inventory. We have products that we manage by packing type or support type. For example, yarns that could be the same yarn. I could have it in a plastic cone or in a paper cone, what is completely different but is exactly the same product. So inventory control, it's another challenge, challenging every day. Production. Managing production in all different areas is completely different. If I talk about garments, I have the color and size and all the accessory streams management that is very complex. If I talk about fabrics, I need to manage all the roles. If I talk about dyeing process, I need to control the recipes. And of course, manage all the costs among the different processes. Planning is another one, and I will not talk here on the challenging of doing MRP1 and MRP2, but one of the biggest problems that we face today is having different companies or different sites in the same company, different companies that are under the same planning umbrella, let's say, and we need a global planning that could manage all the company. Another very, very important issue is traceability. It is very important in different areas to control all the traceability from fiber till the finished product. For that, I need to manage all the transactions around or during the production process. And we know this is very, very important, for example, on customer service, because when we have some complaint from the customer that a problem appears on one color or contamination in one yarn, we need to go through the production process and check which lot was the origin of this problem, and go back and inform and check and inform the customer. And finally, get information out of all the data we have inside our system, that I used to say get information from all the data that we have is another of the challenges that we face in our day-by-day work. So I presented some of the challenges. Maybe some of them fit exactly to what you feel today in your companies. Now let's talk about the solution. Before we go to the live demo, I know you are this is what you are expecting, but I want to talk a little bit about our solution. Okay, we faced two big challenges, that is the apparel and textile complexity, but also that the market was asking for integrated solutions with finance, logistic, retail, CRM, BI, everything. So we have the expertise of the business, but we needed to find a solution that have an ERP solution that have all the functionalities and that could be very, very flexible. So we decided for Dynamics AX, an ERP solution from Microsoft with all the functionalities already presented, and in, let's say, a Microsoft environment, an Office-like environment that is very easy to implement, very easy to learn. It's very similar to Office and Outlook, already integrated with Office tools. For example, you know how important it is having solutions already integrated in within Excel. So this is is made already integrated with all the Office tools. So after decide on the ERP, the next big challenge was transform a standard solution in an apparel and textile solution. So we decided to develop apparel and textile for Dynamics AX inside this ERP from Microsoft. It's not something that you put it's not additional as a development tool. It's something that is developed inside the kernel of AX and is certified for Dynamics AX. It's a solution that is available as the standard one worldwide. It's multi-language, multi-currency, and have specific localizations for specific countries. Additionally, we have also developed a specific layer to integrate with external systems that we know that are outside of the ERP solutions and are very common in our market, like CAD systems for fabric development, PLM solutions, monitoring solutions as examples. So what we did, we used the standard functionalities of a global ERP and integrated ERP, and we added the specific functionalities of the apparel and textile market, like again the product master data we completely changed to allow the system to manage color and sizes, measures, designs, variants, the inventory with different characteristics, the planning tools, the master production order that could aggregate colors and sizes from different references in one or different styles in one and only production order. So let's stop talking about the challenges and the solution and move directly to the live presentation. With me I have Nello Radice, a senior consultant with more than 30 years of experience on implementing ERP solutions around the world. But he also worked as an IT manager on one of the biggest finishing companies in Europe. So Nello, it's up to you now.
Hello everyone. Let's get started with a quick introduction about Dynamics AX menus and screen navigation. So AX, as you can see down here, has several modules available. For each module, we can have different working areas like setups, common, periodic, and inquiries. So different modules are available to manage different company processes. The A&T module is the one that allows us to set up Dynamics AX to work for apparel and textile companies. The product information management system is to manage, for example, release product. Sales and marketing is, of course, related to sales orders and so on. So the content is indeed in the module title. We can also, for example, we can also drop down from here and we can see how many modules are available in Dynamics AX. But in this presentation, we will be focused on the A&T for Dynamics AX functionalities. So the first A&T feature I would like to introduce you is about the item code management. To do that, we need to navigate to the release product. So I click on the release product into my favorite, and so I reach the screen where the items are listed. The table contains finished goods and also raw materials. But in apparel and textile industries, different types of article like garments, fabrics, yarns, and accessories demand different code information. So a specific structure ID, which is the first two digits represented here for each item code, is what we need to have in order to put together attribute and to manage properly the item code definition. So if I select, for example, the structure ID number 10 from here, and I select this short sleeve pajama jacket, we can see that clicking on the create dimensions, several attributes appears to be configured in order to manage this short sleeve pajama jacket. In this case, I will be focused on the model code, which is representing indeed for garment industries the item itself. Of course, then we can combine with it all attribute, in this case the colors, and then due to the size grid we will be able to combine also sizes. Now I want to change my structure ID into the 34, and as we can see, we are talking about a printed fabric. So just going again into the create dimension, you can see that the attributes have been changed depending on the structure ID itself. So we are using in this case an article code, a version, and then the finishing code and the printing pattern catalog, because this is a printed fabric. And now if we go to check the structure ID number 70, in this specific example, in this specific demo database, we can have that inside the structure ID definition, we have the yarn count code, which is the focus in this case to define dyed yarn SKUs. As last, we can go now into the 90 structure ID, which is representing accessories. So we can have several different type of accessories like thread, buttons, labels, and so on in this configuration. And if we select, for example, this button, we can go into create dimension, and then we can see that the item type, so BT, which represents button, is available to qualify better the structure ID and the SKU that will come out from that. Let's move now deeper into two of those structure IDs. So we will be focused again on our short sleeve pajama jacket, and we can see that if I click, for example, on the edit and we go inside the data related to this item, we have all the fast tab represented here, and as you can see, there are two fast tab, technical data 1 and technical data 2. If we go inside the technical data 2, we can see that there is, for example, the size chart, which is enriching the definition of this item, and then we have trade data like season, division, and collection, which are typical data to be related to a garment, and then we have the treatment rules with the related icons. But if we change the structure ID and we go to see a grayish fabric, which is in this example represented by the 50 structure ID, and I select this item, this is a grayish fabric. So if I go into edit, and again we move into the technical data 2, we can see that the technical data are completely different. Some of them are still proposed also for grayish fabrics, but especially we are dealing with weight and width related to the fabric itself. In this example, there is also an absorption percentage, which is normally used for dyeing processing and finishing processes. Okay, now the next that I want to talk about is the color management system, which is very much important for apparel and textile industries. So in this example, if I select again our item and we go into this new icon, which is the Create Master, we can open and we can see that the Create Color Master is available. All the colors already checked, they have been already combined and made available for this item. But if you move down and you scroll down a little bit, there are still available colors not yet combined. So you just click on one of these and the system will be able to combine this color with all sizes automatically in order to create the SKU needed. Of course, there are many other tables related to the apparel and textile. So apparel and textile, in this case, the A&T is related to specific catalogs. Like the one that we just saw is the color catalog. But if I click into this, I can show you that this is a specific table which is dealing with color catalog. So in this case, the structured CO represents the color catalog. So the CO structured is followed by the color code. And then for each color that you can see here, there are a lot of information available to qualify the color, like the collection, the season, or the account code, or even the exclusive checkbox if this color has to be exclusive for a specific customer. In the same way, we have also physical characteristics related to the color, that like the dye type, where you can see that there are different types of dye stuff to be associated with this color, or with the color tone. So we have again a table where the color tone can be specifically defined in order to make sure that during the scheduling of the activities, this color will come in production in the proper sequence for example, for dyeing purposes. In the same way, we have weaving pattern catalogs. In this case, you can appreciate for sure, for weaving purposes, the cards and all the technical information related to the cards to be interfaced with, for example, the loom monitoring system that we have. Another possible catalog is the printing pattern. In this case, what we want to underline are the technical data related mostly to the engraving activities. So the printing system, the number of colors, the color percentage for the coverage, and so on. And then the measures related to the screens, which can be flat or rotary screens. And then we can have here the equipment number list in order to have screens and properly managed. In the same way, if we go inside the variant master file, we can appreciate the fact that there are, for each equipment that we defined into the printing pattern, we have the related recipes depending on the color variant which is related to that specific design. Okay? And this is what I wanted to tell you about the A&T catalogs, which are very much important to be able to enrich the number of data and information to be used during the apparel and textile processes. Another important table available in A&T is the size chart, which is fully dedicated to the apparel companies. The size chart is a mandatory data that is needed to create SKUs when we're talking about garment items. If we select, for example, this standard garment size chart, let's say, we can see that it ranges between XS and XXL. And if we open up the combinations here, we can see that the size chart has the green color to identify what the basic size is. And most important is also this distribution code, which allows through this value to properly distribute, if it's needed, if you want to use it, to properly distribute quantities received in bulk from customers inside the sales order once you are keying in the sales order line. Now let me show you another size chart, which is related to shirts, for example. So the size chart in this case is shorter, so we don't have the XXL size. Or if we go into the pants, in this case we have the drop used. So the size chart is always the same, but if we open the combinations here, we can see that the regular and the long size and the long drop are available. Now let's go to and talk about the BOM template. So to do this, we need to go inside the engineer, and we need to open the BOM template. So AX provides us with an intelligent way to create bill of materials, applying the A&T business concept through a flexible and user-friendly BOM template, as we said. The white card, represented by the pluses, allows AX to automatically combine finished good colors with the colors from the component. So let's go inside the lines. So we have seen the header related to the BOM template. Now we are seeing the components which will be consumed against that header. If we check the structure ID 30 as it is seen into the screen, this is the dyed fabric. So this is the shell fabric in this example. And also this uses pluses. So A&T guarantees that the fabric color will always go accordingly with the finished good color. So when the finished good is yellow, the color for the fabric will be engaged to be yellow. When it's blue, it will be the fabric blue, and so on. If we check instead the structure ID 70, we can see that the color in this case is blank, but we have the to be combined checkbox checked. It means that for threads, in this case, the color for the component will be manually combined with the color of the finished good. If we look at this screen, due to the previous screen where the version of the item was selected, the version of the finished good was the color was 001, while in this combination we are engaging the color 0010 for threads. The structure ID 90 is representing in this case buttons. So 90 is related to all possible accessories, and the item type is BT, which means button in this example. And as we can see, the checkbox for the component consumption by size is checked, so this button is turned on and I can open the size. In this example, you can see that for the XL finished good size, I can change it into the 6 number of buttons rather than keeping with the 4 buttons for any other size. So when the size becomes bigger, the number of buttons are increased. Then we have another example which is represented by the 91. This is a bag for packaging purposes. If also in this case the BOM component by size is checked, but in this case what I want to show you is that we have the possibility that for a smaller, for example, the smallest size, I can, through the Control B, I can change the measure, so I can engage a smaller, in terms of dimensions, a smaller bag, like this. And the system allows us so to change indeed also the SKU to be engaged inside BOMs as BOM templates. So the beauty of this is that all changes can be automatically inherited by all product variations. So I change just one BOM properly following some A&T rules, and automatically all changes will be applied for all possible colors which are related to this finished good. Also, a specific BOM on a particular variation, like in this case, you see the color tree, can also be handled. So check out the other, this is the other BOM header, okay, which is here. And as you can see, this is the active BOM for the color 3, while if we go back to the previous header, the color 3 is the one unchecked, so it's not active in this color list. So AX will always look up for from the lowest level of details and goes up to look for more generic levels until the template will be applicable to the case that we will be managing. Let's now go back and see the route templates. So route templates uses the same concept that we have seen. So let me click on the route here. Route templates uses the same concept that we have seen for BOMs, where the wildcard, the pluses, okay, are also used for routes. And when we use the pluses here, it means that the same route is valid for all product variations, depending on the attribute that we have replaced by pluses. In apparel and textile industries, routes do not change depending on finished good color usually. So A&T allows us to create a neutral route, like in this case, which is applicable to multiple colors for the finished good that comes up with. And this means more efficiency for people creating a new route, okay? Inside each one of these routes, okay, this is another interesting feature that we have available. Inside each route operation, as you can see, there are dynamic formulas which can be set up. This means that our running time can be automatically calculated depending on the formulas, and this allows us to be more efficient and allows us to keep the route as generic as possible, because the specific running time for a specific item can be automatically calculated through dynamic formulas. I just show you the dynamic formulas and I don't go into the details. As you can see, the dynamic formula can be very much complex if you want, but you can write your own on your own formulas by yourself. Let's talk about recipes now. So to show you the recipes to manage for of course textile industries, we need to go to a specific item. In this case is a dyed fabric. So, and if we check, this is the dyed fabric that I want to show you. If we go inside again, we go back into the BOM template, we can see that okay, the BOM template is valid depending on the color of the dyed fabric for all this version of the items. And if we go inside the lines, what we can see is just one component, which is the grayish fabric that has to be consumed. But down here, there is a specific button named recipes, where if we click on it, we can see that there are different recipes if we open for each specific operation. So preparation of the fabric, or finishing or dyeing and so on. You see that in this example we have several recipes, so they are a small bill of material with different formulas to be able to calculate the consumptions for chemicals like dye stuff, thickeners, auxiliaries, and any other type of item that has to be consumed from a production, a specific dyeing production. So recipes consumptions can be also calculated through the usage of very flexible formulas. parameters like fabric absorptions that we said earlier can be utilized as UDD, user-defined data, on those formulas as well. Standard cost calculation. So to show you standard cost calculation, we need to go back to our short sleeve pajama jacket, and in this case I had to go into Manage Cost tab and to open up the item price. If you see as a pending cost in this example, we have the complete evaluation of the cost, which includes any kind of BOM level. So we're talking about the finished good at the end of the story. The cost is $44.85 or euros or whatever. It consumes the dyed fabrics, which consumes also the grayish fabrics, and then any kind of other component. And also for each operation like warping and then weaving and then any kind of bleaching activity, for example, and the related recipes, they are accounted in order to finally to calculate the cost per unit for the finished good. Beside that, there is the possibility to have a very configurable cost sheet where our costs are gathered depending on cost categories. So you can have a totalized material cost for yarns, fabrics, and raw materials, as you can have labor cost for garment operations or accessories operations, and then you can also have overheads categories in order to list any kind of additional cost that you want to calculate on the finished good. Now let's talk about sales prices. So sales prices and also purchase prices in Dynamics AX are managed through the so-called trade agreements. So AX trade agreements define prices by style or model. So if I go into the cell now and I open the trade agreement view, we can see that also here we can have the wildcard that can be used in order to make a generic price for, like in this example, a generic price. It doesn't matter what the date of validity is for $40 or 40 euros. But then I can have a specific price for a specific color or even for a specific size if I want, which goes down to $35. But for all my colors and sizes related to this specific item, there is a possibility to express also a validity date, which include, in this case, a big discount because we're talking about 26 bucks. Let's go now and see the sales part. So to navigate to the sales, I can use again my favorite menus, and I can open my all sales order point of menu. The sales management process presents several specific features. Different types of sales order with specific data related to the apparel and textile business are available. So if I open a new sales order, inside this you can see that inside the general there is an asterisk. It means that there are mandatory data to be entered, and if we drop down from here, A&T has added this sales order types. These are the sales order type is available on any kind of document in A&T, so we can have a type of document for transfer order, specific type of document for purchases, and also for production orders. In this case, the sales order had their own specific sales types, and this is a table that can be managed by the customer, so it's a completely user available table. Now, in case of garments, of course, if we have to deal with garment items, we need to have the size grid, and the size grid is available. So if we pick any one of the orders which is a sales type garment, and we go inside it through the edit, we can see that, let me go to the full screen, we can see that our item is here, and the item definition stops at the color level, while the size grid has been used to develop the sizes related to this item. So for each size, I can enter the quantity that has been ordered by the customer. The prices will be also displayed here. So there are several possible attributes or parameters that can be opened at the size grid level in order to better qualify my single size. So if I show you in this example, if I open here the size dimension, you can see how many possible fields can be open depending on the size. And to better investigate, and I just opened the delivery, the quantity delivered, which is fully blank in this example. Now from this we can also, from a sales order, we can also manage a kind of planning system. So master planning is the main planning system in AX, and it runs every night. But also from the single sales order, the customer service representative can properly go through the explosion and see what the situation is about the sales order line. So for each size here, we can see that we have quantity on hand, for example. Okay, if I click this, see that it says, oh, so we are okay with these sizes. But as soon as I go down here and I select and check this Excel quantity, Excel line, you can see that Dynamics AX is suggesting us that we need to launch production orders, or we need to launch also purchase orders in order to fulfill the customer requirement to produce 5 pieces of this. There is another interesting feature which is related to sales order, is the blanket order. So blanket orders are also available to manage contracts related to bulk quantities, but when specific product dimensions like colors and sizes are still unknown. So the possibility that we have is to see at which level of generic product dimensions we would like to enter our sales order. So in this case, the blanket order is qualified by the blanket order checkbox and an automatic link, because when the release sales order will come in, the system will automatically link the release sales order to the original blanket order. And at this level here, we can define at which product dimension level the blanket order has to be entered. As in this example, we can see that our blanket order, if we go back into this, has been entered generically at with a generic color, which is the default color that can be used, and is generically at the basic size level. But when we go into the general, and for example we click the line quantity, we can see that the delivery reminder, out of 95 total quantity order, the delivery reminder is just 35, because we have released sales order already received from the customer. Now what I want to talk to you about is production and subcontracting. So if I go into my through again my favorite, and if I go into my master production order, I click on this, I can show you how the production orders are normally managed by A&T. So we have headers and we have lines. The purpose of the master production order is to manage different products, as in this example, to be produced under the same MPO, master production order. So specific business requirements are already available, such as size grid for apparel industries. And when we need to produce, for example, fabrics, the role management is another concept that has been introduced by A&T. So here we are looking at a specific garment production order. We have 2 different lines with 2 different colors, and for each line, we have multiple sizes entered to manage the quantity to be produced. If now we select a different MPO, which is the 56, we can see that this is a fabric to be produced. It's a greige fabric. So when producing fabrics of any sort, can be greige fabric for weaving or finished fabrics to be dyed or finished, fabric rolls are also available and will be automatically traced during the entire production process. A specific production function is available, which is inside the route card. So anytime I progress one of my operations, and we can see this one has not yet been progressed, so I can click on it. If I go inside lines, I can see that there is a specific button which allows me to register the progress of the last, in this example, the last 2 rolls available, and as soon as I click and progress them, the rolls will be taken down here. I can change, of course, quantity, and so I make my roll progress through my entire production process. There is another interesting feature which is related to the roll master file. So if I click on this and I go into the rolls, we can see that there are, for example, in this case, several rolls managed during the process of this specific MPO. One of them became already historical, so has been consumed, fully consumed, but A&T keeps all the information related to it. In this case, we have 2 physical rolls. It means that these rolls are still in progress, so they are between any one of the operations, and they are precisely the 2 rolls that we didn't progress so far, and I showed you during the register functionality. Some of these roles are still virtual. It means that we can create virtual roles as soon as we create the production orders, and then they will become physical as soon as we doff off the looms. Okay, so when we cut and we create from virtual, we create physical roles. Once the physical roles has been processed, fully processed throughout the production operations, they will become in stock. All these functionalities are available, of course, for weaving, knitting, and finishing industries. And same logic and concept are applicable also to warping processes to create warps. Now let me talk about subcontracting, which is a very interesting feature available inside Dynamics AX. To do that, I need to go to a different production order. Is the 26, and is my example for managing subcontracting. So the subcontracting business model lately became more and more important, and when not properly managed, everyone knows that it could badly affect the entire production process. So through A&T, a complete route or a single operation inside it, can be produced care of a subcontractor. In this example, we have just one operation that from cutting, after cutting, internal cutting, we produce cut fabrics, and these cut fabrics can be moved and transferred, has to be moved and transferred toward a specific subcontractor for an external assembly cut for the sewing part of the process. All the documents needed for a shipment and delivery to the subcontractor are kept properly linked to the main MPO. So to check this out, we can go into the BOM, and we can see that you see, for example, semi-finished items and service items are automatically created due to the A&T setup that we have specifically dedicated to the subcontracting management. And for any one of these, for semi-finished, we need to have them transferred to the subcontractor. So if we click on reference, we can see that the transfer order is there, and anytime we release and we launch the production order, then the system automatically will create for us the transfer order. While for the service item that we are purchasing, using to purchase the service from the subcon, automatically A&T has created the purchase order to purchase the service. Okay. Now the next concept that I want to show you and I want to share with you is the production pool. To show you this, I want to change my production order to the 37, and in this case you see that this is a production order fully produced in China. So we are using the concept of the production pool in order to allow you to quickly change a production order from one facility to another. Through a specific A&T feature, the MPO related BOM and route will be also changed accordingly. So in this example, we are showing that this has to be produced in China, care of a subcontractor. So China means a Chinese subcontractor in this example. So if I change pool, I can have, of course, a new pool like Italy, so a specific subcontractor, or a specific vendor, A or vendor B, can be changed to have then BOM and route specifically changed accordingly with the new vendor that we are dealing with. Now we can talk now about production cost. So with Dynamics AX, it is possible to compare the estimated cost with the actual cost as soon as the MPO is reported as finished. So let me go to a different MPO, which is the 75, and you see that from here, this is an MPO reported as finished, is related to a finished good, a garment finished good. And if I go into the inquiries and I open up my price calculation, you see that if we go into the overview costing, we can see that the estimated cost was 804.60, which became $811.35 or euros.35. So through the dynamics, through the production order progresses, we can tell the system that we consume, for example, more about this value, or we consume something more about this, or we consumed more about this or about this. So this is the yarn, the 70 structure. It reminds me that this is a yarn, and like so this difference is among consumptions, so estimated consumptions and realized consumptions are determining the difference on the total cost of this item during this specific production. From this screen, we can still and always appreciate the fact that our cost sheet is always available to be checked and verified by the users. Now let's talk about inventory, which is one of the major modules inside Dynamics AX. Inventory management, as you can see, clicking on inventory, the screen changes and it brings up different working areas, as we said. If we go into the favorite, or from here, we can click on the on-hand quantities. This is one of the most used screen in Dynamics AX. So in apparel and textile sectors, inventory dimensions are quite important because they represent all the required information related to the product in stock. So inventory dimensions are also used to facilitate the product traceability. So if, for example, we check from dimension display from here, we can see how many possible inventory dimensions we have. So the site, the warehouse, locations, license plate, or pallet IDs, batch number and serial numbers, and so on. Also, quality is available. So from here, if we select a specific non-blank quality, we can see all SKUs having a quality defined. We can also see that in this case, this is a gray yarn, and we can see that we have for quality 1 400 kilos and for quality 2 54 kilos. So this allows us to keep in stock even different qualities, while in stock we have also different batches for this example. Talking about yarns, in this case we have also user-defined data at the on-hand quantity. It's talking about humidity percentage, which is the deal that we need to make with the vendor when purchasing yarns. Okay, now after checking the possible inventory dimensions available and seeing that we have a lot of possibility, we can go back and navigate through a traceability. So how Dynamics AX is keeping track about different situations and transactions that happened during the production processes or the sales process itself. So the problem of traceability is usually related to customer complaints on finished goods sold, like fabrics as an example, used to produce shirts. So from the customer order, we can readily determine the yarn lot number used in the production order. So let's go and select the sales order number 133. Okay, and if I go into edit and I go into the this sales order is related to a fabric, so we are selling 1,000 meters of this grayish fabric. If I go into inventory, I can see that and then I go into transactions, I can see that there are different transactions in different statuses for the same sales order, so in different quantities reserved in this example. From here, I can go to inventory and I can launch my trace. Launching the trace, the system says, okay, this is the quantity that we are dealing with for the sales order line. But if I open here, the system tracks down and drills down into the production order, which is this one, okay? And the production order has consumed through a production line this quantity of yarn. This is a gray yarn, okay? And if I open it, the system leads us to the purchase order, which has been used to purchase the yarns that have been consumed into the production order. So double clicking on this, the system takes us to the purchase order transaction. And from here, through the inventory again and trace, I can go on the different direction. So I can go forward, and if I open the transactions starting and related to this purchase order, we can see where the quantities have been consumed. And so we can see that, okay, we have our sales order, the 133, which is the one we started from. And then if I click any one of this, we can see that there is a different sales order. So in this way, I can track back and I can analyze for which sales order the possible defect can be spread around due to a wrong yarn that we purchased from that vendor. And this is my last issue that I wanted to talk with you about. And so thank you for listening to this webinar about apparel and textile for Microsoft Dynamics AX. Thank you.
Okay, let's now talk about some of the main benefits and present some references before we finish. By implementing our solution, of course, you have direct and indirect benefits. and this is obvious, getting business knowledge from a specific textile and garment know-how available within our consultants, some of them with more than 20 years of experience. You will have the opportunity of using the best practices that top fashion brand customers have around the world, and we have these best practices by doing it in the different countries with the different requests. Of course, you will short your project elapsed time by having experienced team. For sure, you will reduce the implementation time, and reducing the implementation time, of course, we reduce the project costs. Less time, of course, less money. Also, we reduce the costs because of the knowledge on the sector. The experience we have, for example, with big players, it's crucial in some projects, like experience to talk with Electra or Gerber or color kitchen producers like Laver, or other textile producers, machine producers like Benninger or Loris Bellini, to tell you some names that we worked in the last years to do integration with specific solutions. Another big advantage or benefit is that you have one integrated solution that covers all the sectors and the different business models. You have one entry point for data among all companies. This is very important, but most important when you have more than one company and you can create the product only once and spread the product in all the other companies. We guarantee completely the traceability through the entire manufacturing supply chain. This is important for customer service, as we already talked about it, but this is very important for other things, like I remember some last projects in Latin America where controlling the origin of the fiber is very important. For example, if you export from Mexico cotton to Colombia and you transform the cotton in knitted fabric and this knitted fabric in a garment, when you import it again to Mexico, you don't have to pay taxes because it was a transformation process. Or, for example, the organic certification for cotton that is also very used today, and you need to control all the process since the origin of the cotton till the end of the garment to guarantee that the final product is made with the organic cotton. So additionally, you have native intercompany functionalities. This is for transactions, for consolidation level, but it's also important, for example, in terms of planning. The use of blanket orders that we talked also about. Blanket orders are very important. You can have blanket orders from your customers, but you can also manage the blanket orders inside your companies or your company group. We have also, and this is very interesting, available complementary solutions that are already connected with our AX solution. I'm talking about, for example, PLM's product lifecycle management solutions. I'm talking about monitoring solution, quality control for fabrics solution as an example. Okay. But we can also give some names. I know everyone wants to. It's very difficult because some customers don't want to share, but some of them are ready to share the information with you on a call. For example, reduce the time to market up to 50%. We had an event recently in Turkey, and our customer Elvin presented that they reduced their time to market in 50%. This is very, very important. Of course, increase global efficiency in different areas. Today is very important. There is a a key performance indicator called OEE, the overall equipment efficiency, that a lot of companies, manufacturing companies, use around the world. And this is a case where we can assure that the OEE is increased. Sometimes maybe you don't increase directly the productivity, but you increase the efficiency, or you increase the quality, and you do the products with the better quality at the end, so you increase globally the efficiency. We have better customer service, and not only on traceability. Important is that with a good plan, we deliver on time what the customer requests and with the quality he requests. And very important also, when something goes wrong, as we said, we can trace it, but we also can have and manage alerts from the system on master planning and say, be careful because this customer order will be delayed. So you can act instead of react. That is one of the very important problems we have in our companies today. Of course, improve the control in all processes. I keep insisting on quality, on delivery, and cost control. And if you have better control, of course, you can reduce inventory, you reduce costs. And finally, we allow you flexibility to market changes, and this is very, very important. Our solution, as you can see, it's very and completely configurable. So maybe today you don't have weaving, but who knows tomorrow? Maybe today you don't have your own brands, but you know market is changing. Maybe you don't have retail, you don't have more than one company, but in the future, and the future is, I will say, is next week. The challenge will arrive also to your company. So let's move quickly to some references. I will not invest a lot of time on talking a lot about references. I'm available for, in a case by case with you, discuss the best references for you. I don't want to show a textile or focus on a textile reference if you are a garment company, but I will talk a little bit about the last ones. Maybe start from the last ones. Scarpa, shoes company, Italian company. We recently signed with them. Hansel Textile is a $1.5 billion company. It's a vertical company. They have knitting, finishing, dyeing, printing, and cut and sew. They are a Korean company with production in 6 countries. They export for big brands, mainly in US, and let's say a Ferrari of the fabric shirts, Tessitura Monti in India. We signed this year contract with them for the weaving process in India that we are starting with. We have a lot more in apparel, in textile, in technical textiles, in a lot of different sectors. As I told you, I will not focus on each one of them and talk about a lot of success stories that we have. You can see it also in our web page. We have some of the case studies presented there, but again, on a case by case, if you want to check if we have references similar to yours, please talk directly with us, and we will help you. Okay, so before I close my presentation, I want to share with you one last slide. We talked about market challenges and about the solution, but maybe in another occasion we should also talk about challenges implementing an ERP project. I want to give you this message or share with you this conversation I had with Roger. Is the IT manager of CMI, one of our customers' ongoing projects that headquartered in UK and production in Sri Lanka, Bangladesh and Cambodia. I asked him to tell me about the problems, the challenges he had in terms of project, and he gave me 3 answers that I will let for you to think about before you plan to implement an ERP solution. It's very interesting because he never talked about, he talked about internal issues instead of the market or the solution problems. Maybe because they were already solved for him. But the main problems was one, ensure adequate internal resources assigned to the project. This is very important. Second, do not be a slave to legacy systems. Despite warnings, the users of CMI have still been thinking about current practices and not open-minded enough to look at the future picture. And third one, begin communication plans very early in the project and be consistent with delivery and content. And I will let you with these thoughts of Roger that I think are very interesting, and for my part, that's all. Say thank you very much for your time. If you have any question, please send it to us, and we are more than pleased to answer you. Thank you very much.
So I would say we did pretty much what we wanted and intended to do. So if to sum up and to provide some takeaways, first of all, we got introduced to Porini company as such. We got also some information about the Porini solution. We have been introduced to market challenges, which I believe you are aware of. Then we spent most of the time looking at live demo of Porini solution on our X platform. Then Fernando provided some main benefits what Porini solution gives, and I would say some really nice references. So having said that, on behalf of Porini and Columbus, I'm saying thank you for participating in this webinar. If you would have any question, please contact Columbus representatives in Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania. So once again, thank you, and as a moderator, I'm closing this webinar. So have a good day, and bye-bye.